martial arts were developed in wartime combat.
Yes.
And it is a totality of your mind, body, and spirit that needs to get prepared when you're going into war. Different so even in the sense of going into a sport where somebody could pull you off and you're safe. Like, the mental preparation that these warriors had to go through to prepare themselves for battle is why there's so much mindset and centering and balance and meditation and art within martial arts.
And that's what's so beautiful. It is a vessel in which those lessons, the wisdom of those that have gone before is embedded in the teachings, and it gets passed down from generation to generation, because my sensei taught me and I'm going to teach you, and then my sensei taught me, so I'm going to teach you. It's the way that these ancient pieces of wisdom that would be lost if it wasn't for the passage through the art. The art is the vehicle in which the wisdom is passed down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Budo Brothers podcast. You got Eric
And Kyle.
And one thing that I've noticed in marketing in general, an overused term is innovation. Everyone's innovating. We're innovative. Everyone thinks innovation's so easy because you just have to say it and you're innovative. Well, this is this innovative new thing. Or check out our innovative new store. Everything is innovative. I just feel like it's an overplayed word. But in thinking about that, I started thinking about what innovation actually is and how a crucial part of innovation is creation. Innovating is bringing something into the world that didn't exist before. It is an innovation. It's a new utility that didn't exist. And when I was thinking about that, I started to tie it back, like, how does innovation apply to martial arts?
Right. Do you think that innovation is very common? I think that true innovation is few and far between.
Absolutely.
Right? Because let's take these hoodies we're designing. Is it a true innovation? No. Because a hoodie, when you first, with the kangaroo pocket and cotton sewed up in that's an innovation.
Yeah.
Everybody else has just kind of took it and
tweaking
and played around with
Iterated.
Even sometimes with music, you wonder how much of it is an innovation.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's all branched from somewhere before. But that's kind of the human experience. You take something and keep building with it, right?
And I feel like an innovation is a step change.
Yes.
Where creativity can incrementally mold an art or mold a creation. A true innovation is like a big level up, a big game changer. All of a sudden, ChatGPT's on the scene.
You got it, yeah.
Boom. That's an innovation.
And I would say for martial arts, there was a new innovation. And that was MMA.
Yeah.
MMA was an innovation in martial arts because we're talking something that's centuries, like it's been around since humans have been around, martial arts, right? People have been needed to learn how to do combat since they've been alive. But how it was made, it got split and broken into different styles, right? You had karate, judo, hapkido, like all of these styles were created and they didn't ever mix or talk or my style's better than your style. What has happened recently with the creation of the internet and mixed martial arts is that it's all just slooshed together.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the youth, right? We have the privilege of bringing out our first Budo Brothers athlete.
Budo Youth Fund premier athlete.
And her name is Ella. You might have seen her if you're deep in our videos. But we met her at a seminar with Michelle Watterson. And how it went was we brought Michelle up and we did an event to raise money for the Budo Youth Fund. And we received a direct message from her father and asked if Ella could join. Mm-hmm. And at the time, she was probably 10.
Yeah.
And we were like, this isn't really an event for kids, right? They're not going to be able to keep up. They're not going to be able to participate at the same level as the adults. They'll slow down the flow of the class. He's like, no. Trust me. So like, you know what? Let's open it up. So we open it up. We let the kids come. And Ella shows up. And literally from her first punch in that seminar, you could see that there was something special there.
She stole the show.
She stole the show. And she would equate to seeing what raw talent is like if you were to see Wayne Gretzky or you were to see LeBron James or you were to see... She's that type of talent. In our scope, our sphere, she's a once-in-a-lifetime thing that we will see in our journey, right?
Phenom.
So we wanted to use the Budo Youth Fund to help her specifically because it's going to require a lot of capital to fuel that rocket ship.
She needs it. And look at what she's doing. She's got a boxing coach, a jiu-jitsu coach. She's got all these different instructors. And this is what's so different about when you and I were growing up in martial arts. It was taekwondo or karate. And guess what? That's it. There was no cross training. There was no, everyone's style was the best style.
Yeah, and the louder you could ki, the better.
Damn right.
Yeah.
The harder that board breaks.
I used to love ki.
Yeah, it's the best.
Sometimes when nobody's around, I'll just ki for fun.
Give me a ki.
No, I'm not doing that. I'll hurt everybody's ears. My ki, my ki is more powerful than my punch.
I'm sure it's very deadly. But the point is, Ella is going through an era where such innovation has taken place in cross training and having multiple coaches. And this is why we're so excited about supporting her through the Budo Youth Fund, is to help finance this the training that she already has all the good. She's got the magic. She's got that flame inside. And so we want to help clear the way, get her the training that she needs to help her live her dream. You can tell that this flows through her veins. This is her passion. This is her journey. And we're just so honored to be able to help her through the Budo Youth Fund.
And you're seeing the innovation play out. This is how martial arts is being handed down. When she learns martial arts, she's not learning it as parts. It's like, this is martial arts. And wrestling's included, jiu-jitsu's included, boxing's included, everything. Muay Thai's included. And she goes and competes at all of them right now.
And cleans house.
Right? I believe that when she's looking back in time and she reaches wherever she's going to reach, kids will just be going into MMA tournaments at 6 years old.
Probably.
And they're probably actually doing it right now.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Down in Texas, I think they're doing some MMA stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
It's intense, man. Yeah. It's so wild. It's such a different landscape. And it's so much broader as well. You kind of had to seek it out when, we were 7, 8 years old. We watched The Karate Kid and got inspired, and you had to, there wasn't many schools around.
Jiu-jitsu didn't even exist in our world.
At all.
Filipino martial arts.
Never even heard of it.
No. For me, it was karate.
Yeah.
And that was and taekwondo.
Yep. Those were the
two.
The big hits.
Yeah. That was it.
The fan faves.
Also, the martial arts are getting cooler. Partly because we're making them cooler.
Okay, yeah.
No. But it's cool to be in martial arts. You have athletes like Conor McGregor, you have Floyd Mayweather, you have these larger than life people that you can aspire to.
Yeah.
I remember when I did high school wrestling, I didn't want to do wrestling because of the stupid outfit they made me wear.
The tights?
Yes.
You didn't
that was it. Yeah. Like, I didn't want everybody to see my dick while I was in high school. Like that's not what I wanted. It wasn't cool.
And now it's cool as hell.
And now they got these cool rash guards and shorts and doing jitsu.
But how beautiful is that with this sea change where all of a sudden there are probably more people that have an interest in martial arts that have never trained than any time in history.
Yes. Wow. feudal Japan.
No, they didn't have. I'm talking about. I'm talking about modern history here. Modern history, where.
Well, you know what? You could say that statement because there's more people on the planet now.
Yeah, true.
So
per capita, I bet you, I'm still willing to bet that the common interest in martial arts has never been higher than, the last 15 years.
Outside of war times, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just general martial arts, not like war fucking.
Yeah, but when you're going to war, you're interested in martial arts.
Correct, for sure. But like modern times, I'm saying like back in the 80s, there was a martial arts wave before. Like, who cared about martial arts in the 60s?
And to Bruce Lee's credit, he was one of those
pioneers, innovator.
Without Bruce Lee, martial arts wouldn't have got as popular as it did in North America.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Its popularity is probably
way bigger than the Bruce Lee era.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. But yes, wartime, you'd probably be more interested in actually learning how to survive.
Okay, we're gonna go run across the field with these swords and go kill somebody. I'm not interested. I got better things to do. I gotta go pick some rocks up and stuff.
Kind of have to pay attention to it. But what a cool era! And what I love about this sea change and this interest in martial arts is that it's creating a rising tide that is making communities allow for pop-up schools and dojos and facilities to be full. Mm-hmm. They're full. They have to open up a second school, a third school. It's beautiful. More and more people are experiencing the power of martial arts.
And it's not just meatheads, right? Mm-hmm. It's nerds do it too. Brandon Moreno, this lightweight fighter from Mexico who likes collecting Lego. And if you saw this guy, you'd be like, that's a nerd.
Yeah.
That's a nerd. Yeah. He is one of the most savage fighters on the planet.
Can't be touched.
Right? And Israel Adesanya watches anime and all these nerdy things. It's cool for kids to experience that now. You don't have to be a jock.
Yeah, those days are over.
Athlete or now you could do martial arts and do this and do that.
Yeah.
That's really one nice thing that I find a lot of young people get to experience now that wasn't really the way of the past. Similar to martial arts, where you had styles and systems and you had to fit within that. Like, we don't go to the ground in Taekwondo.
Right.
It is almost like that for your personality traits too. When we were younger, you could be less original. I remember going to the bars. You had to wear black shirt or black shoes and a button up, and they played top 40.
Yeah,
that is the most cookie cutter thing possible. Mm-hmm. Now you watch these younger people coming up, different hairstyles. They could do what they want. They could
individuality.
And the problem with them, though, is that they don't value it.
Value what?
Their ability to be whoever they want. Instead, I find they just bitch about it.
Okay.
I can't do this. People are holding me down. Like, looking back, you are now able to be yourself more than anybody. Look at us.
Yeah.
We are able to do a martial arts lifestyle company that talks to martial artists, and we build martial arts inspired gear.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily possible 20 years ago.
Absolutely not.
No. Things have changed.
Big time.
And it's just amazing to see the evolution of things, and it's similar to martial arts. Martial arts, you had to only be this. And you had to do the punch this way. You had to do the kata this way. Now, because we can compete and spar and use YouTube,
test out,
you're starting to see what works and what doesn't, and it's coming to the light. And a lot of the older guys are getting pissed for that because even they're realizing, like, maybe this doesn't work.
Damn. Yeah.
I was told this by my grandmaster,
Right,
but my grandmaster was foolish.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if all you've done is Taekwondo and someone takes you to the ground, you're clueless.
Right.
You've never done it. You've never trained it. It's not your fault. You just haven't trained it.
And the same thing if all you know is grappling, and then somebody puts you on the ground
With a spinning tornado kick.
or you're sitting there and mount, and the buddy comes in and kicks you in the head while you're there, like you didn't practice your self-defense stuff.
That's it.
Yeah. I always want to remember the traditional martial arts. With all this innovation and all these new things that are happening and the sport of MMA that's created, you can never forget the foundation of things, though. You always have to pay homage, because as much as you're innovating and doing all of these things on top of it, the core of where it came from is the truth and is the answer. Mm-hmm. Martial arts were developed in wartime combat.
Yes.
And it is a totality of your mind, body, and spirit that needs to get prepared when you're going into war. Different so even in the sense of going into a sport where somebody could pull you off and you're safe. Like, the mental preparation that these warriors had to go through to prepare themselves for battle is why there's so much mindset and centering and balance and meditation and art within martial arts. And these traditional martial arts, Aikido, karate, ones that have been around for even longer than
Kung Fu.
Yeah, Kung Fu. They still are vehicles to learn those lessons.
And that's what's so beautiful. It is a vessel in which those lessons, the wisdom of those that have gone before, is embedded in the teachings, and it gets passed down from generation to generation, because my sensei taught me and I'm going to teach you, and then my sensei taught me, so I'm going to teach you. It's the way that these ancient pieces of wisdom that would be lost if it wasn't for the passage through the art. The art is the vehicle in which the wisdom is passed down.
Right.
And that's provable through lineage. There's lineages that have been around for centuries, meaning every lifetime it's passed down. And I think that is badass. I think that's badass that there is a traceable line throughout human history that doesn't involve bloodline, that can be traced back to antiquity through martial arts.
That's very cool. And if you were to apply it to modern day technology, let's take ChatGPT. This technology is going to change the world. And that technology I'm speaking about is artificial intelligence, being able to talk, predict, and used as a tool in everyday human life.
Yeah.
That is going to change the world in ways we can't even imagine.
Big time.
But no matter what, you cannot get away from the truths. From what it is to be human, from what it is to have a handshake, to look somebody in the eye, to deliver trust, have relationships, connection, to understand each other on a human level. A technology cannot take that away. And what it does is it's going to highlight the real truths, the things that have been around since the beginning of human time. And it's going to get rid of a lot of bullshit, as technology always does.
It's coming for you.
It always will clear out every inefficiency along the way.
And that is what the innovation process does. It is creative destruction. It is the forest fire that burns down the old wood, that allows the seeds to burst up with new life. And this is what we're seeing. And it's scary because no one's safe. This is artificial intelligence is going to span all industries.
Yeah.
We've only just begun.
Yeah, we're in the beer drinking app of this phase.
And guess what you're doing in the beer drinking stage? You are passing the medical exam. You're passing the legal bar exam. You're litigating court cases, winning. It's not coming for the low level jobs. It's starting high and working its way down.
Yeah.
It's coming for knowledge workers. It's coming for copywriters. It's coming for graphic designers. It is going to change. I'm convinced.
Finance industry, everything.
I'm convinced it's the most disruptive technology of our lifetime.
Yes. And the one before that is the internet.
Yeah. Changed everything.
And I do think that this is bigger than the internet.
It's going to change everything.
Yeah.
When we are going to live in an era where we do not know which videos are real and which are not, and who said what, man, we're going to have some new systems in place.
And we no longer need to think about how I want to word this. It is going to increase the speed of thoughts and your thought process. So the internet came along and it's caused a lot of anxiety because the amount of stimuli that your brain receives has jumped up exponential because you're now exposed to so much more information.
Yeah.
Now you don't need to think about carrying out the task because something is going to do that for you. I need to send an email to this person about this. And then that happens.
Yeah.
Like the phase of you like, okay, now what am I going to say?
Yeah.
What am I going to write?
Scary.
So it's going to increase productivity, but it's also going to change the way we think, right? There's no calculators anymore. There's no math anymore.
And I can't do mental math anymore.
There's going to be no need to write. There's going to be no need to...
Mind you, in this era, I think the pendulum's going to swing. How are high school students going to prove that they can write? They're going to have to go back to pencil and a blue book, and they're going to have to sit, because otherwise you're submitting a chat GPT dissertation.
That's very true. And I'm going to say that's a good prediction.
Pendulum's going to swing.
There could be a small era till technology ruins it. Because technology will always win. Where we do see things like people writing with pen and paper to proof that it's authentic.
Yeah.
We do see people going back to gold because you can't
hack it. Yeah.
Right?
You can't print it.
You do see people maybe bartering again.
Yeah.
You do see... Yeah. Because the world is going to go into a place where it has zero trust anymore.
Yeah.
Because how will you know? You can't trust your eyes. Mm-hmm. You can't trust your ears. And nobody is producing original things.
Yes. In an era of digitization, analog will be valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good prediction. You heard it here, Budo Brothers podcast.
Analog.
Viva
la analog.
Yes. We will be riding up on horseback, exchanging you a silver token for your hoodie.
Yes. And living in a yurt. Off grid. Who knows?
Don't know. But that was a cool thought experiment. And the Budo Brothers challenge.
When we're talking about innovation and we're talking about change, I think all of us need to consider how we are going to adapt in this rapidly changing environment. It's going to require us as individuals to innovate within. We're going to have to look at ourselves and look at our skill set that was valued on a market that's always changing. So we are going to have to innovate ourselves. We're going to have to change with the change. So The Budo Brothers challenge is to look at a world of instability. What are your rocks? What are your core competencies? How can you be nimble? How can you adapt? How can you use what you've learned from this crazy experiment called life and apply it in a different, ever-changing landscape? That's going to require innovation. That's going to require observation. And the reality is the only thing we can do is respond. Respond to what is.
Love it. Well, I think that's a great place to leave it. Until next week.
Until next week.